Good evening, good people, and welcome. It is week 5 of the Duck Boot Camp. That means it is week 2 of the Platy Party. I am Saracen, joined in the booth by Maddie. How
Hi.
you doing, Maddie?
I'm still a duckling. I have not learned platypus skills by osmosis yet.
That
Yet.
is fine because we've got platypus displays of prowess. It's the feats of strength here, if you will.
Uh,
And we've got a really interesting flag set tonight, so I think we should probably jump into that right away because
that
this
sounds
is,
like a lovely time.
if we're thinking about our progression, we started with the basics. We started sprinkling in a little bit of spice and flavor into everything. Now we're getting a little bit closer to real tournament flags. And by that I mean I took old tournament flags and adapted them to the modern era. And I think that this is a great time. So 2021 was a very good year, very spicy year when it came to flags. And we're revisiting that. Now, note, some of this stuff is going to be a little bit retro, and I think that's just all well and good.
Whoa, retro.
I know. So we have no real changes here on the goal. We got a long topher. We're fighting all the fiends. Our scaling,
Yeah.
you're gonna notice the dungeon encounter rate is ticked up a little bit from where it normally sits. We want to keep this at the 6/6 level for encounters per 256 steps.
All right.
Nothing real big there. But note,
Oh.
we do not have XP conversion. That didn't exist back then.
No. What is XP conversion? Actually, you know what? Explain it to me later.
Short version, a percentage of gold chests are turned into experience.
So there was only money.
Yes, if there's only money. It's all the money. It's fine.
Woo! I want to be rich. Maybe I'll own a house.
2021 was the year that we introduced random incentive locations.
Oh, yay!
But we did not have the ability to, specify like which half the dungeon or any of those other fun options. You just threw them random. It was great.
So it's good luck, have fun.
Yep. Notice also there are no swords in the incentive item pool. Yeah.
I mean, all you need is a power gauntlet. It's fine. I'm sensing black belts.
So it was a very black belt heavy tournament that year. Yes.
I'm also noticing, because you can tell it on incentives, is free canoe.
Yeah. We're getting there. All right. Mode and world.
Sounds
We'll see.
good.
We have Northern Docks turned on. Northern Docks, a lot more popular back in 2021. I think they're great, but they are a very game-changing thing to have on.
They really are.
But that's the only thing on that section. Onto the maps.
El Mapo.
Maps. Nothing special here. In fact, Gaia's shortcut was not a thing at the time, and despite that, I left it on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I know what Gaia looks like without a shortcut, so I'm thankful for that one.
It looks like a horseshoe. It's terrible.
That sounds terrible.
Okay, treasures. You will notice that there are monsters in boxes, and those. Now, all right, I've made some adjustments here. So a couple of things on this: rare treasures, key items, all that. You couldn't actually specify what was in the monster in a box back in 2021 when this first came about. You also couldn't mark them, but we marked them here, and you'll notice this is actually the key real difference between this version and the version that will happen in the Derby in a few weeks.
Okay.
The monster in a box chests in this flag set will always be garbage.
Okay.
You just don't really care about them. So those are chests to avoid, which is a piece of information that you like to have when you're looking at random incentive locations.
I do like information that says I don't need to get into more fights.
Yeah. But as you noted, free canoe in this flag set. So that's that can mean very early ice. It can mean, sail your way to Crescent. It's a real chaotic thing, and I love it.
It sounds like Deathfish.
Yes. All right, shops and magic. There's not a whole lot here, but you know what? I felt like having a little bit of fun. If you get fire, ice, or lit, or harm one, they're actually good spells in this flag set.
Yay! I like that.
They do the damage of their third level equivalent. So
Yeah, but it's
fire will do fire 3 damage,
huh.
real good, but it's still single target. Enemies.
Yeah.
Nothing super special here, except that the spike tiles are a combination of A side and B side. So there is no guarantee of the eye. There is no guarantee of the 3-eye grind. It can be real interesting.
So what's the difference between A's and B sides?
Different formations.
Oh, okay.
It's the B side list is bigger. And
So it's
generally,
B-side for bigger?
Kinda. There's more encounters in the B side than there are tiles in the game.
Ah.
And so you are always missing like 3 formations of them or something like that.
Huh.
But the B sides tend to be bigger experience, more full party style thing. Nothing special in the party comp.
Alright, but I've heard classes is terrible.
Yes, so the Thief Agility buff did not exist in 2021.
Womp womp.
And so we are using the Vanilla 10. You'll also note that we have half the BB crit rate, which is, an important balancing decision because that's, it's a little rough. And we are only getting 1 bonus in this flag set, but no malices.
Aww.
Here in items, nothing super special here. We just left it at -3 to +5.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Full houses. And looks like this typical adjustments.
Yep.
Alright.
But with that, we are just past the gate drop. So these folks are about to get on their way. We need to get our layout swapped over so we don't miss any of the action.
We do, so give me a hot second to make sure that it's actually working properly, because it takes time to set up flags. Just do a little bit of behind-the-scenes magic as we miss all of the level 1 magic, because we're brilliant like that, and that should fix us. And Phoenix's name is not Flags. Though he raises a bunch of red flags for Dark Moon, so... yeah. So...
on my display, I'm still seeing busted layout.
Oh, come on!
There we go. There we go. All
it's
right.
Fine, it's fine. I was in the wrong section of my Steam Deck. It's fine. There we go. Little death for me.
So while they're running off, gallivanting into the Garland fight and whatnot, I'm grabbing the ROM and looking at this stuff. So White Magic, Invis 2 was level 1, nothing else notable there. And the Black Magic, Lit 3.
Ooh, slab.
And a ship.
We'll take those.
Ship's good.
Just gonna real quick mark those for Jay Shy. It's gonna be lovely. Alright. As I perform all of the various tasks of a restreamer, 2021 was indeed a wild time, apparently. So what does the ship do? This is going to mean that they're basically going anywhere with access to the canoe docking in the rivers, right?
Yep, so we don't have our canal yet, but that's fine.
What is this? Going to the White Magic first, Jay Shy? What is this?
That was Phoenix?
Oh, it was Phoenix. Well, I can't see anybody's names. I'm in the restream chair. It's the fun one.
Yes. You put Phoenix on the left.
I did put Phoenix. Yeah, see, I know I put Phoenix on the left, but my Windows don't know that.
Aha. Well, we have level 2 nuke, which is really all you are hoping for. Now, it is very interesting that either both runners did not look at the thief section.
Oop, there's that canal.
Or, hey, canal, that's nice. Or they're already planning on killing off that thief. Because, man, 2021 was not a good year for thieves.
I mean, they're a dream.
That's a gold bracelet plus 5, but it's like 36 and a half
Yeah.
for that. So, yeah, you know, that's a little rough.
So what did our blessings look like?
Um,
Because it might explain the thief if they had something like a high-level spell like Exit.
no, I'm pretty sure the thief was like a vitality bonus. So fighter had plus 10% hit, thief plus 10 vit, black belt, red mage armor.
That's a hint for Ruby and Ice Cave.
Red mage has resist status time lightning, white mage has agility, and black mage has improved cat claw.
That is some very low-value nuke, and I'm all for it. Put it $54. Just pocket change. Take it. Give me nukes. Oop.
Phoenix is thinking. We're thinking.
I think he thought he may have hit the canal, and then his brain died.
Timers, BT dubs. All right, exit level 5, slot 3, which is not red wizard learnable, and nothing of note in level 5. Lefane has the Oxy. That is a large hint. Very large. Jay Scheidel using the river dock because that is actually the closest dock to Marsh. We'll see if the random incentives are remembered. Because that usually means go up. Jay Shai, go into the basement right away. Okay?
I'm gonna have to have some words with with ADR about how trying to adjust the timer on the fly works. So what did we pick up from? Oh wait, no, we just translated slabs. That was it. I'm just like the Melvin incentive, the good one. Oh man, look at that box that contains garbage.
There's a shark in there. This was called out in the race room, by the way. They should all know, if they were reading the race room, that there is nothing of value in these chests tonight.
Ooh, a Vorpal
There's
minus
a
one.
Vorpal minus 1. That's actually a very viable endgame weapon in these flags. And that is just an annoying spike tile encounter there for a Procape.
Ooh. I mean, I like Procape.
Procape plus 5 is real armor. That's like 13 absorb.
Ooh. So, okay.
Herbie B asking, does random marsh include marsh lock? It does not. You are correct. It does not include the marsh locked.
So marsh locked is vanilla, but the other one is somewhere TM?
There's no incentivized item in the marsh lock.
Oh. Huh. What did I think there was?
I don't know.
Ooh, temper at 3.
Temper at 3 is big. That's nice. And not having anything else of note there is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Life 2 and Fade at 3 and Harm 4. Okay, well, okay, you hit Fade and Harm 4. Sad face, but still.
But Life 2 and Fade both being Red Mage learnable also means they are Knight learnable.
Yay!
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Scheidel has walked out the basement. There's Warp and Fire 3, but Warp really the only one we care about there. So we have plenty of blasting prior to that.
So I just walked in and I started blasting.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito will never not be funny.
Danny DeVito's a treasure.
He is.
Like Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's good too.
Bill Murray owns the local minor league baseball team. You know, fun facts.
So do I find that excessive or awesome?
He's just super cool, dude, so...
Oh, I mean, yeah, but...
We go with awesome. Alright, Jay Scheidel has located the Adaman.
Hooray! That's something. It's an early dwarf check. We know Jay-Shai didn't pop in for those early chests, which was just a little bit of money, in terms of, like, actually checkable stuff. I was gonna say, that was a linked chest, why did you open it? You went downstairs first!
So, a lot of people forget that that's one of the linked chests.
Oh, these Medusas are mean.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So, Gurmadusas can swing. I don't know if that was a known thing to people before, but yeah, they actually can hit real hard because they get like 5 or 6 hits, and he's going back for it.
I
He
mean,
really want. I mean, it's a theoretically good chest,
yeah. I mean,
except for the ambush.
yeah. It's fine. You just need one of these alive. They're not happening. Oh, the
Oh, he
pain.
forgot to equip things.
Yeah, that might help. Just a little bit.
Pro cape on the fighter is a decision.
It is a decision. At +5,
I want that on the black mage, really. The
considering
black
their
mage who
available
is going to
stuff.
run and or nuke.
I think I would probably end up going with the red mage in this case, just if I was running their party low. I probably would have taken a white mage just because I'm still very uh, leaning on having them generally. But I probably would have put it on the red mage just because you have access to that life too. So not having that guy, and we have life 1 and 2 in battle as well. So if the red mage survives, I can get the black mage back up.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Um, but the black mage is also the only one who didn't have a piece of armor to their name.
Yeah, that's true. But like, okay, and this is where, and I've had this discussion a lot of times just in RPGs in general. There's two types of players. There is the put all of your eggs in one basket, give your main character all of your best equipments that they rock, and you're gonna have a good time with them. Or the B, where you spread out your equipment and everyone becomes kind of mediocre, but none of them are like particularly bad. And it's something that I've started to like lean into that when it comes to Final Fantasy, the one basket strategy tends to work a lot better, especially when you run into like a big wall of an enemy where it's like, oh yay, it's great that I ran into this and it killed my party because I have a bunch of wood armor on that's not doing anything versus the one person that I could have just put an opal on and at least lived to get out of the fight.
Yeah. All right. So that was a crystal coming out of the adamant.
Mhm. Which I mean,
And
what is adamant
the,
if not a crystal?
I mean, it's very much not a crystal.
Uh,
It's more of a mineral
I mean,
of a
well,
different sort.
yeah, I was gonna. They're both minerals. It's fine. So,
We're nuking the shark to find out that there's 1,500 gold there.
I mean, it's not terrible.
The call out in chat for the 420 Blaze It Gurmadusas. Yeah, the old mwahahas. Not quite that bad. Now, here's a real question.
All
Do
right.
you have a favorite snake on the Medusa?
I mean, all right. I'm gonna go with that like forward-leaning one because I imagine if this was in 3D, it'd be one of those like really low-cut, sexy bangs, and that
So
snake would want some. So,
I go with the kind of derpy looking one on the front side, like the one pointed towards the Light Warriors, because to me that one just looks like. You ever see the picture of Cerberus where it's got two very serious heads and then one that's like
wall-eyed
tongue
and
hanging
having a
out?
good
Yeah,
time.
exactly. That's kind of what I think with that snake, except it's like kind of almost got like the Daria no expression face going on at the same time, which is really weird to juxtapose that.
Just make sure if you're ever giving your Medusa a haircut that you wear a butcher's apron. That
Herb
is
for sale,
Urban Shop.
33K.
See, watch it be necessary considering there's only 2 non-necessary. Ooh, fast at 6.
Fast at 6 is good information. That is low enough level that you don't really need to, push for it. The robot has the key. That is useful information.
Mm-hmm. And this old man gives a rod, which means that's the possibility of just doing Earth Cave and grabbing your first incentive. Granted, they don't have much other than nuking and fading, It is still Lich, though. I think that should be enough.
So my thought process is there's no incentive item in Earth, so why go there?
The experience boost from getting the orb.
We are on per item, per
Oh.
key item, so it's not gonna boost you there.
Boo.
The now Phoenix is picking up just a little bit out here, I think in hopes of grabbing the herb before leaving. But also, you know, this is potentially just a little bit of supplementary levels to get safe before going somewhere else.
Never hurts.
But I think the flip side of this is we're looking for like 20k more gold than he's got.
Yeah.
A little more than that, actually. He needs to triple his gold to make this worthwhile.
So I'm hearing put it all on black.
What I'm saying, really, is just go do Ordeal, dude.
Yeah. I was gonna say, in terms of it, going around the world, coming back to Crescent, or even if you can get airship before the herb. Now, granted, herb could hide airship, which is something to consider.
That's true. That's true. We do see that Jay Scheidel is headed into Ordeals. Ordeals was a very big play in 2021. Early Ordeals usually was a good predictor of, not necessarily if you were winning, but it was a good predictor of if you were going to have the resources to do things. Now, Zomble just, you know, one-tapping your Black Mage is not great.
Just give him a little wrap on the bottom, it'll be fine. His poor unprotected bottom because he's not allowed to wear wood armor.
Yes. We're seeing some of the fabulousness. Oh, fire 2 regular wolves. Well, everybody lived. It's fine.
I wouldn't say everyone. It's a little less sunny in Philadelphia. Ooh.
Well, I mean, the Black Mage was already dead.
Wasn't that white shirt on the list of incentives?
It sure was.
Because I didn't. Well, I mean, I obviously don't have his sound up to know that that was the incentive item or not. Because there's only one white shirt in the rotation, right?
Correct.
So it has to have been. That means early ordeals is not terrible, but not great.
Yeah. And that should have been the incentive fanfare there, but, you know, sometimes we just don't hear it. Phoenix checking, by the way, this is actually, like, super important information. When you have a random ordeals incentive, you can check that one box on second floor and see if you just get lucky and can exit out without doing the whole maze. Didn't work out here, you know, was not the thing. But you can see that this is a fanfare length text box.
Truth
so
facts. Gonna say, we also know that Jay-Shai has the warp available, so... And we haven't seen exit yet, have we? Just warp.
We saw it, but it was level 6, where it's not particularly useful.
Ah.
If you had enough warps, you can also get out, but you do have to warp all the way back through all of the pillars. Not optimal.
And we're gonna have Jay-Shai probably see that herb now with a whopping 10k.
So, a routing thing here. So we know that the Oxyale is floater locked, because that's at Lefane. But we also know that the key is at the robot. And Canaria is incentivized.
It is, which is two things. Yeah,
Well,
I think running at that key would probably be the next thing after you failed with ordeals, right?
So you also have the ice play?
Yeah.
Potentially. Like, there's things. But I think what Phoenix is looking at here is, let's take some of our gains from having done that ordeals. He's gonna just grind out the money. I would have sold like that opal helm, and seen if that got enough. You know, like there were a couple of things that you could just sell. Ice still on the table, still a random incentive location. So, you know, there's a lot going on here.
And Volcano wasn't incentivized.
Volcano is not incentivized.
Yeah, so it's just ice. I guess
Jay Scheidel heading in an on-rack direction.
having warp ice does seem a lot nicer to me, but having the key I think is just kind of too big of a thing. It, like, in my brain, is that the key is Corneria, the key is making sure that you're ready for things like on-rack, the key is... Or not on-rack, but C, because C did have random, if I saw correctly.
And there is one locked box that everybody loves.
Yeah. Don't think there's anything else major that the key... I guess the key's less incentivized. I'm kind of thinking like winter tournament stuff where it's like, oh, key, that's like opening 12 boxes I'm in.
Yeah. Alright, Phoenix has earned the herb.
So we'll see if it's herb or ice cave being the kind of better play in terms of that gamble.
Yeah, and Jay Scheidel did pivot from the waterfall play to the ice play. And I get it. There's logic to all of this, right?
Yeah, there's don't double dip on rack.
Exactly. And we're getting the TNT, so continue the fetch chain, continue getting experience. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, see, if this leads to Power Bonk, it's gonna be super disappointing.
Right? That would be the darkest timeline.
If it leads to Floater, Phoenix is very suddenly very ahead. But...
I think the worst case is if it's like the Ruby to the Power Bonk at Slarda, because then it's just all those extra steps that you didn't have to take.
I think the other thing is, since they both took a fighter and haven't found a good weapon, getting key before coming to dwarves feels like a little bit of a better thing for me, just because you get access to all that potential stuff. And it's Chime. So necessary, but not necessary to rush. Was Sky
Jay
on?
Scheidel just had a moment.
Oh dear.
Thought that he had the warp charge, did not, and had dropped down before noticing.
Oh.
And as a result, I'm not going to judge a particular, decision on the reset here, but having dropped down, if that top left box that we saw was not marked is actually the incentive item, then you would be checking everything to find out that you need to drop back in. Like that you have to leave and go back in.
Oh.
That would be horrible.
Why did we only give them like 15 minutes to figure this out? We couldn't have been nicer to them, let them give them like a day of study.
My friend, let me tell you.
Ooh, steak and wings.
They actually have had the time, if they cared, because these flags with one change only have been posted for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, since whenever we created the bootcamp channel.
Yeah.
Because a small variation of these is in the Derby.
Don't open the end. I must yell at 6. I must yell at Jay Shy for opening this box when they didn't need to. It doesn't have anything in it.
Okay, so that TNT turned into the Chime, and Phoenix is immediately going to check the 18 boxes of Sky to be disappointed. Actually, no, this is you take this, but to check the first 2 floors, because 18 boxes could hold an incentive item, and it would be hilarious if it did.
It would.
Now, it has gotten immensely more dangerous all of a sudden as the red mage goes down. But yes.
Stop opening the trapped boxes. I mean, I'm gonna have to open the trapped boxes, so I shouldn't be like mentally telling them not to, but oof.
So, all right. Again, the difference. The red did not roll sage. It rolled something. I think was it a spell or it was something minor. None of the blurses were particularly important. Now the important thing is that in this flag set tonight, none of the marked chests have anything worthwhile in them.
I was gonna say
In the derby, all of the marked chests will be rare treasures. That is the only difference between these flag sets.
Getting tail from that chime, that's good. It's gonna mean, like, making sure you get in under those spell charges for the ninja who will be casting Temper and the knight who will have access to life and fade. But overall, I don't think that's good. I think that's a very gut put behind, which means I think Ice Cave is the play, or else needing to double dip on rack.
Ice is the play, unless the key leads to the floater.
True.
And the key we know from the hint giver is at the water.
Yeah.
So yes, 100% correct.
Yay! I'm learning.
All right.
Northern Docks doesn't have the Cardia dock, does it?
Correct. Cardia is a different dock entirely.
Womp womp. Ooh, that's a good worm.
That is a fantastic tile.
No! Go back. He wanted to play. How many nukes would it take to get to the center of a good worm?
You know, some days it's easier than others. That worm tile is like, it's in a terrible location, but man, is it good. And I love worms. Phoenix taking the long way through the river.
Phoenix has just been watching my routing and I failed geography.
I think there are a lot of runners who go through the rivers this way, but you do lose time when you have faster ship turned on because the faster ship is good. Is it the vanilla box?
I think it might be the vanilla box. It is.
It is.
Oh yeah,
the ruby.
We knew this was the ruby. It was hinted in.
That's right. Which means we also would have known what floor it was on.
Really?
Yes, because the hint givers will tell you what floor the incentive is on as well.
Okay, this is something that I have now learned that I did not know before.
It's particularly important in entrance shuffle and entrance and floor shuffle. Because they will tell you what floor of the entrance.
Because did any of the classes talk about that fact?
We definitely talked about it when we did the entrance and floor reveal on Wednesday.
Ah, so the one that I missed because I had vertigo.
Well, the VODs are always there. Actually, I think it got put to YouTube like within an hour.
Nice.
Now, Phoenix has the warp charges, and has the warp charges to get out, which is really the key difference here.
So at this point, it's two very annoying 50-50s of Ruby leading to Floater or Key leading to Floater. And both involving you to go to terrible sections of the world. Too terrible, actually? Considering that I sharpened my teeth on... what do you call it? Just forgive me. Gotta swat a fly for a second. There we go. Alright, fly swatted. Since I cut my teeth on Winter Tournament, there's been a lot of, like, sort of mental conditioning that I'm kind of getting over in terms of needing to learn a lot of other stuff. So, like, because Winter Tournament had all of those northern docks, my particular knowledge of like where to park airship is like a big thing that's been. It's like, where do I park? I need parking that I'm not gonna get, I don't know, apprehended.
Who's gonna validate this parking slip?
Yeah. Ordeals I find particularly bad, to the point that I've tried to start routing ordeals into while I'm still using ship.
I think a lot of people try to do ordeals in ship, just because of the dock. But the correct landing location is just north of the Mirage Desert.
Yeah, it's like past that other little patch of desert and way to the right, and it's a horrible walk, and I hate everything about it.
So it shows off what I like to refer to as the fifth quadrant, which is the dumbest name that I have for this place. But if you think about the desert grind that's available in the overworld, right? You've got your 4 quadrants of the Mirage Desert.
Yeah.
The northwest, if you go 1 tile north of that, is what I call the fifth quadrant. And that has Sarias and sandworms, notably. And that occurs in that like little desert patch, the top half of it. Like that's where the border is. It's like the top 3 tiles of that desert are in the fifth quadrant. And yeah. That's another overworld grind location. It is less good in almost every way than the other deserts if you get a good encounter in the other desert locations.
Alright, Sarda, show me the good stuff. It's
a crown.
It's more fetch quest.
We're getting there. Alright, we got a carry. We don't have a carry anymore. Carry has gone away. But that's going to be a fire orb for Jay Scheidel.
I was gonna say, how am I gonna manage to win bot lane without my carry?
So, Windfox coming in asking, what's week 5 about? We got Spring Tournament 2021 Redux. As we're taking a little bit more of a turn for the tournament flag style. And this is just a modernized version of a tournament from 3 years ago.
So many years.
The canoe was free, Sonny. They just got that. Like, you know, this is like a Boy Scout camping deal. Like, you just get your canoe. Alright, Phoenix. Did Phoenix turn in the crown?
I haven't seen so yet. I think he's going for the keys because he's gonna be going to Astos anyway at this point, so...
Oh, call out in the chat that the canoe is not checked on the tracker.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. My cat gave me a bug and I owe him a treat, so... Mild priorities.
Alright.
There we go.
So...
And they do both technically have bridge as well.
So I would say that this is a more advanced flag set than previous weeks, in that 2021 was a very interesting year for the main tournament. And that means that we introduced Monster in a Box, and we introduced random incentive locations, and you know, we had some fun. Was that the Chaos Carnival? I think that's what we called it then.
Sounds absolutely chaotic.
It was. And that year, you know, fun little bit of history, there were actually 4 different flag sets because it evolved as you progressed. And so there was one flag set for the pod round, there was another flag set for the round of 64 and round of 32. Then there was another flag set for 16 and 8, and then another flag set for the semis and finals. And, hoo boy!
Ooh, Katana 3.
Katana plus 3, real good sword.
That is making me think that the thief is looking a little nicer despite his, you know, lack of agility.
Yeah, not having agility on the thief is as a starting bonus is a real big deal. The vanilla 10 agility is just so bad.
What are you doing sitting here? Menacingly.
This was honestly a good year flag-wise for like three-man, like black belt, red mage, black mage was a good one. We saw a lot of fighter rainbow. We saw a lot of fighter red, black, black. You know, there were a lot of compositions, and almost none of them included thieves.
So
So
I'm hearing use a 3-man. Come the derby.
you know, I'll be honest. There was a match where I knew up front that my opponent was big on fighter red, none, and I offered them 2-man random mage, random melee. But it was really a trick so that I could get them to agree to a forced war mech.
It was all a ruse.
Sometimes you get that.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes it's in stick form.
This is also true. All right, Phoenix is stopping in Town Real to get Invis 2. Interesting. All right. Welcome to our raiders from the Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
Hey, hello, Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Just so you know, I love you more.
So we are in our duck boot camp. Oh, there is a floater in Canaria Castle. So that robot for the key was the play.
Hey, I called it right an hour ago.
The box of spiders is really a thing here.
Hey, no one's cleaned out this closet in a while.
For a falchion +5. The one of the meta decisions back in 2021 was to see if there was reasonably cheap equipment that you could slam into every slot of your inventory, because you would still be able to see the item with the notifications turned on for like the chest notification.
Without the
You'd
monster
see what
coming
it
out.
was. Yeah, you wouldn't get in the fight because you couldn't carry the item.
I think I
But
did
you
that a couple of times with the marked war mech that had massa a couple of times, so I could see the plus on the massa before I ended up fighting him.
Right, but it was a big deal back then, like this developing meta tech, right?
Back in my day, TM.
Yes, absolutely. You kids get off my lawn.
You have a
but it was-
lawn?
I know, right? I have just outed myself as an American. But
all I have is an ice rink as a Canadian.
But the idea of filling up your inventory was something that wasn't like common, at least right off the bat. And certain runners, Caleb notably among them, was one who really dove in hard on.
I mean, can't complain if it worked out.
I didn't realize how cheap houses were in this seed. That's fantastic.
I mean, the market broke. It's fine.
Houses. All right, there is a cube. That means that we now know, because we're going to get a slab turn in for the Oxyale here.
Yeah.
Either Sky or Sea is where we're getting our loot.
Ooh.
And that's terrifying.
Sandwiches.
Actually, no, we know that it's not Sky. We already got the tail from Mirage. So it is Sea Shrine is going to have our loot.
Yep. I think that checks out. Or I don't think I saw Astos. If I did, I don't remember what it was. Could have been Power Bonk.
Oh, that's right. I don't remember seeing Astos either, and we do have a Power Gauntlet outstanding.
Come on, Mermaid side. Come on, Bubbles.
So, with the random Sea Shrine incentive, there is sort of a correct path in that you check all the chests on your way down. Phoenix, no! Oh, going to promote first. Okay, okay.
Yeah, no checks out.
Wait, what?
Also, there is a cardio incentive, right?
No.
Oh. So...
No, cardio was not an incentive location, period, back
Ugh.
then. But we get a ribbon.
I mean,
It may
you know
as
what?
well be incentivized.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's basically incentives.
Wow.
And a lich goes down for J-Shy.
Hooray.
So we've got the 2 easy feeds down on J-Shy's part.
Phoenix was checking to see if there was an incentive in Cardia. Apparently not part of the 2-monitor gang.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the 2-monitor gang, but as a restreamer, we really gotta start joining the 3-monitor gang.
I'm in the 3-monitor gang, but my 3rd monitor is a TV, and that causes me all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
It turns out graphics cards don't like that. Phoenix resetting back to Bahamut. Okay. We're thinking.
As
We're
you should.
thinking here. Alright. Jay Scheidel going to the waterfall.
And at this point, we know that waterfall is basically required. Well, okay, it is required. They're going to need key to get into later stuff anyway. But in terms of it, it's the progression at this point. It's where your floater is, where access to your promotion if you manage to find it. I imagine we're going to see J-Shy pick it up because they need to find that loot, and obviously he hasn't found it yet.
Yep. Alright, there was a brief moment where Phoenix had the ruse stick equipped instead of the katana, and it was really funny to me, but he promptly fixed that. So
Aww.
we're good.
But what if... Okay, hear me out. Hitting chaos with a ruse stick.
Funny, not very effective. I mean, you know, everything is sufficient in the end game if you know what you're doing.
I'm hearing that as a challenge to learn what I'm doing.
Until you've beaten chaos with a small dagger or, you know, something -9 or whatever. You know?
Oh, what's the worst thing I've had to beat him with? I think it was like a saber +2 or something.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
a really bad seed.
Right. And, you know, some days it's just like that. Alright. Phoenix, now 1 item from Go. It is in Sea Shrine. Pretty sure. Unless the crown has still not been turned in.
I think at this point, if it hasn't been done, you grab it on the way. Like, there's no reason not to.
The ideal standpoint is you turn in crown before you go searching through all of Sea Shrine.
Yeah.
And you probably save scum to do it, because you like save at Onrak and then fly over to Astos. And then if it's just garbage at Astos, you're like, haha, I don't care.
Ah, yes. What does Astos have? Power bonk. That is kind of nice.
Right, but you look, you find out it's power bonk, and you say, I don't care about this right now. And you proceed to do anything else, which is to say you go to sea and you get your loot. And then on your way back, you're like, haha, now is the time for power bonking.
Yes. What are you doing? El Kabonk.
Alright, we are checking spike tiles in here. Jay Scheidel fighting some spiders.
I sometimes feel like I'm the only one who remembers El Kabong.
I mean, I would say not super common, even among old people like me.
Yeah. Oh man, something happened that made me realize I was old, and I don't want to talk about it because it'll make me realize I'm old.
Oh.
gonna say, rambunctious cats are the best cats, also known as the only kinds of cats.
I mean, there are jellicle cats, or so I've been told.
Ooh,
That's an
XCal
XCal
-1
-1.
in a greed check. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
I don't hate it.
Oh, does
I
he
don't know why
not
we're
know that
checking
there's not...
Volcano.
I think it's because, obviously, he doesn't have loot, and he thinks there's an incentive in here.
2 Monitor Gang represent.
I say the worst part is I might be 2 Monitor Gang, but I do still leave the flags open behind the game.
So, I play on a not maximized emulator when I'm on my laptop for actual competition stuff.
Oh yeah, same. I usually use a tiny window.
But I still keep the flags on the other half of the monitor.
Just use a notepad, Doc. Oh. As I say, I have enough WordPad docs layered around my home. I don't need to have more that are just me writing settings down. As it seems he clued in.
I don't know that, you know, the people requesting commissions from you necessarily want incentive item locations in their fanfic.
I don't do fanfic, sir.
I'm using stream safe language.
Yes, of course. I'm just saying that if anyone ever looked me up, I don't do fanfic. Actually, I did write for a video game.
Huh.
It was actually, funny enough, a video game with no words in it.
Fantastic.
Yep. I essentially had to write the entire thing using mechanics as a language, which was a very interesting time. I think it should still be available on itch.io. It was for, like, one of the last major game jams that happened.
Hey, it was the power bonk at Astos, by the way.
Hey!
As Phoenix has begun the orb lighting. Crashing into Melmond, as is tradition. Just teabag that. It's fine.
It's fine. Oh, but, oh no, it was it was a very fun experience to get to write on a video game, and I quite enjoyed it. It was around the same time I was doing the gender swap sprite, so I actually also did a bunch of the art for it too. And that's my brag for the day. I get one.
Neat. Alright, Jay Shidell has located the tail in the basement of Marsh. Or, of Mirage, rather.
Ooh,
and,
stony worms.
Yeah... Maybe not.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about rock-hard worms.
No. Oh, boy.
I see, it was still PG.
Was it?
It was.
Maybe.
It was what he was doing. It's a worm.
Those are scary cockatrices, by the way. I don't know if you caught that, but
I was too busy looking
poison?
at all of this lovely stuff that we have Jay-Shy grinding off of without getting into the sky for that tail. Lots of heals.
So many just little tiny encounters there. Yeah, so Jay-Shy down to just a knight. Well, soon to be a knight. Still a fighter for them. The cockatrice is bullying Phoenix again. I don't think that Jay Shidell got to see all of the damage poison come out from them. You know, some people are just lucky.
Some people. I'm not one of those lucky. Actually, you know what? No, I am incredibly lucky. I am never punished for any of my nonsense, so I should really not push my luck there.
One additional thing with this flag set is I think and this is, one of those anecdotal things, and maybe it was just a little bit more forgiving back in a different era of competitiveness.
A simpler time when we didn't have all of these luxuries we now hate to be without.
Right, well, I mean, yes, but what I have found is that I don't feel quite as bad taking a wipe in these flags as I would in so many other flags. Um, it's a little bit more forgiving, but also, it's kind of like in Winter Tournament, like you'd get a relatively early wipe, and it didn't feel good, but it didn't feel horrible necessarily. Like, one wipe wasn't bad. The difficulty ramping in this is not there. Like, I didn't put on scaling difficulty.
Yeah.
But, there's something about it that's just not quite as pain.
Just slightly less pain, thank you.
Yeah.
See, I'm very pro-pain and pro-pain accessories.
Ah, yes.
Man, I am just going off the deep end with bad jokes.
Phoenix, what? Oh, Phoenix forgot to save after getting that ribbon.
Ooh.
Huh. That, I was like, why are you back here? You did this. It turns out he undid that.
Considering
and realized it because of the stone poison.
I was gonna say, not even the stone poison, it was losing both mages to whatever was going on down there in Earth from the cockatrices.
It was or damage poison, that's what it was. The damage poison from the cockatrices.
Got Jay doing a little bit of inventory management, similar to how I do it, which is wildly press buttons and hope it works.
Yeah. Phoenix on to the Sea Shrine.
Alright.
The final incentive location.
Alright, chat, let me hear your bubbles has the loot.
The commentator curse starting early, I see.
Well, no, I just want them to go carbonate bubbles. I am a purveyor and massive fan of the Bubble Soda Company, so I gotta shill if I one day want to join the illustrious ranks of mermaid carbonating goodness.
So, first off, thank you for your patronage. As a founding member of Bubble Soda Company, I do love to hear that. But, yeah, definitely, if our runners see bubbles, it is assuredly against their will.
So, but it'll be for my will. It's fine.
True.
People always talking about the will of the Arbiters. All the Arbiters want is bubbles to have a loot.
Cremate was an interesting thing to see there as the ninja goes down on Phoenix's side. Jay Scheidel with the very interesting, we're going right after that teleporter and up. Okay. I can understand the up.
Yeah, I'm for up, but right? Ugh.
Like, because you had to swap directions entirely, like...
Yeah. I'm gonna say, anyone in chat with a cat, when they got those midnight zoomies, and heaven forbid they just let you commentate?
Heck it. These cats don't care.
They don't. A second ribbon.
That is a very pleasant find.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that Phoenix has not bothered to move the power bonk into the first armor slot of any character.
He'll do it later. Weird. He'll do it when he cares to use it.
That's fair. Just throwing some microwaves at Tia on Jay Shaidel's side, where Tia is now down. Hey, look, it's an Agama
Ooh.
with Blaze. It got upgraded.
So we have the Agama Blaze It too.
I mean, Agamas don't come in packs of up to like 8, like the Gurmadusas do, but they are heckin' scary.
Heckin'. They're a heckin' spook.
Man, you really wish, looking at that that room, that the marked chest was in the corner instead of behind the thing that could have cockatrices with damage points.
Yeah, but
The
like,
one also have fire too.
yeah, but it's been a while since I cursed a run, so
This does confirm that we do need to go mermaid side.
yay! See, look, it's fine.
We have a request for Agama facts. Agama cook themselves.
Roses are red, violets are blue, Agama's great, and so are you. That's an Agama fact.
Alright, whose cursor strats on Phoenix's side? It's probably Phoenix's cursor.
It is Phoenix's cursor. It's not my cursor. I had to make sure. Like, it looks pretty big for his cursor. Maybe it's mine?
Pretty reasonable hit from Kraken 1 there onto Phoenix's Knight. Bringing that Knight down to the knee.
Just one
And,
knee, that's all you need. Oh dear.
Yeah, you see, the other downside of these thieves not having an agility bump is that
Their
they
evasion is
don't get-
terrible.
yeah, they don't get that extra 70 evasion that most people are used to these days.
Yeah, I'm very used to just ignoring things.
Alright, Jay Scheidel also heading into C.
Gotta say, ironically, this is a pretty close race. I mean, we still have Jay-Shai gonna need to be doing both sides, but honestly, it's still pretty close. And there is always Topher, the great equalizer.
This is true. And it's long Topher, so like it really has that equalizing potential. Long Topher is a skill set that we, as a community, have kind of moved away from over the years. There's been so many short Tophers for so long, and now mid Topher's an option, and it's just like, man, this feels so much better. And like the difficulty of long Topher with unrunnable encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially when you have vanilla unrunnable encounter rates.
Yeah. Winter
Ooh.
Tournament was fun.
Yes. And that was, I think, cut down to 8% instead of the vanilla 12.
Okay, so, alright. Since we got a couple of moments, considering that is a trapped box, what are the odds of Bubbles Soda Company sponsoring the OJ Power Hour? I'm sure Jay Shai and Osloto would love to know.
I mean, do I look like I have sponsorship money? I could theoretically be convinced to record one of those commercials.
So I'm hearing that it's an option.
I mean, you know, there's follow-on thoughts with that.
Because that's just my little tip of we here at FFR have a whole ton of fun, nonsensical, and just overall great time broadcasts and such going on, including the new podcasty OJ Power Hour, where there's been a lot of interviews and such with different communities and things like that. There is the loot.
Okay, notice third ribbon also in this room,
Oh, yes.
which is fantastic. We love having all three ribbons. It's the best news. It was a funny location for it. Granted, we are not getting the carbonation we so richly deserve.
We do so richly deserve it.
However, here we are in go mode on Phoenix's side at the 58-20-ish. Well, I mean 58. He had to warn.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, we're cruising.
Cruise control, baby.
Now, I don't know if Phoenix picked up all the real magics yet, and that is exactly what he's about to go do.
Yeah.
So
I know we saw
there was-
J-Shy do it, so that's a little bit of extra trip that's not needed there, assuming that he, you know, has as easy a time at this as Phoenix did. Which is to say, Kraken punching a ninja in the face.
So what I am noting with that bit of shopping, one, I still would have picked up Fade on the night just in case.
Yeah.
But two, I note that the ninja was not getting any spells there, and there was temper in that shop, like the black magic shop there.
Well, not just Temper, but Saber as well. So if you're going for just the ninja and relying on that katana, Saber is never something to look down upon, I personally say. Though it actually looks like he's intending to grab the extra chests on this floor, just maybe some better gear.
No, we're not to the point of picking up extra chests. There's no point for Phoenix to grab chests at this point, but...
Oh, right, yeah, he still needs to beat Tia.
Yeah.
I forgore.
So realistically, these two are real close.
Yes. I'm just like, oh man, he beat Kraken, he's gonna be fine. Tia's like, what, you forgot about me? I thought I was your wife.
Alright. Jay Shidell going to get a loot. Phoenix. In the Sky Maze. With Diamond.
I was gonna say, this is getting that close to that edge of your seat level of the race, where it's like either of them could take it.
For real. Very close.
Taking a big old pack of metal slimes. Won't lie, Dragon Warrior definitely has the better metal slimes, just in terms of being absolutely adorable.
They are heckin' cute. And iconic. Really,
Very
that's
iconic.
the real key. Alright, Jay Shidell a few checks away from getting this loot.
I was gonna say,
Forgetting the layout of the mermaid floor, because the mermaid floor is very forgettable sometimes.
I was gonna say, hey, it just makes me feel better about myself because I still don't know the layout of the mermaid floor. The xylophone.
Okay, he is going to get the ribbon. It was like, there's a chance just on order that he doesn't grab the ribbon.
Alright, and outie.
There's a Tiamat fight on Phoenix's side.
There is a Tiamat fight on Phoenix's side.
It seems like it's going to go pretty quick. That's the good news. That X-Cal did not hit for damage.
I mean, it is -1.
It doesn't matter. It's got the elemental weapon bonus of plus 30 and just huge base damage. But, you know, we get there. Some temper, some fast. It'll happen.
As you do.
Realistically, Phoenix is slightly closer to Topher. Just the tiniest inch.
Slightly.
Right now. But we have a route choice on this. Going north.
I mean,
Oh, we're gonna pick up more magic as we realize, wait a minute, we can get magic. Or we're picking up armor?
probably gold bracelets. Because there wasn't much in the terms of, like, proper body armor.
Maybe. This was not the armor shop of our desires.
He tried.
Jay now into Topher at the 103 and change mark.
What do you mean run from the good experience worm? You take that! No! Go back!
You know, Topher is not necessarily a place where you're going for levels. And
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing here.
I learned that the walking grind in Topher is not terrible.
The walking grind in Topher is very reasonable.
That said, I know
However,
I was gonna say, J-Shy is I think ahead on levels in terms of it because you take a bunch of those sandwiches in Desert off the reset.
yeah. Alright, 103.50-ish for Phoenix.
No! 2 delicious worms.
They're just big ol' spaghettis.
Lots of spaghetti.
Don't you forgetty.
Don't forgetty the spaghetti. Because they take one gas to...
I don't know, man.
So rude.
Revenge of the Snack Ladies.
They're back.
They don't hit as hard now. We have armor and hit points. That was a very random katana swing when everybody else was running.
I mean, it's probably one of those rude ones where when I'm manuing fast, generally my white mage just gets a little bap in there. You just gotta give him the rude fade. It helps you run away better.
I am a big fan of the mixed run and throw out a clear spell of some sort. Anything AoE, right?
Yeah.
Just on the idea that maybe the AoE goes off and I get something out of it.
Well, that was Lich with Ice 3.
Ice 3 does do damage, technically.
Mm-hmm. Now, good, we have those life casts.
We do.
Plenty of them. That's gonna eat tempers from the red mage, but that's not the worst in the world.
The ever horrible menuing that is potioning the third slot.
Yeah. Oh man. I was gonna say, so, just to briefly veer into role-playing games, we finished up our most recent Pathfinder session, or Pathfinder campaign. It was very funny because between combats, I'm sitting there like, alright, let me get the wand out, heal, 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 and I'm just imagining the Final Fantasy potion drinking noise because I have been playing it for so long. Oh no. I'm just like, we're healing.
It's always great when that creeps in.
Yeah, just like, it's interrupting my daily life. I clearly must play too much.
Alright, well, Carrie is also doing scary things.
Scary Carrie.
Yes, this is not great, but alright, Jay Shidell gets the Quad X out to take down Carrie too.
Mm-hmm.
And we are burning through these life charges.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, nuclear.
That would explain the multiple deaths on Jay Shidell's fight. So, alright, Phoenix through the fight, but...
I think this is that different than that one extra ribbon.
So, you know, one of the things that has been brought up in the past is that your time saving on a white mage is that you don't have to spam heal pots. I actually think that Jay Shidell came out ahead for having to use 2 Life 2 casts instead of mashing the heals that entire fight, right? Like, there's the resource quantity, there's knowing that there's no other healing spells known on that red mage.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on.
Yeah, because I mean, the only other good one-ish one that they found was the heal 2, and even then, it wasn't at a good slot level.
Right. Jay Shadell passed Kraken 2. We're pushing on. We got
Keep
the
on
fighter
pushing.
in the first slot.
I mean, the ninja is a little bit of a better damage dealer when you're looking at X-Cal versus the katana. Now, I think because Jay-Shai never found that, they're swinging the Vorpal, which I'm for swinging the Vorpal, but I still think the ninja is probably the better choice.
It's hard to say. Phoenix through Kraken 2 is treating that ninja like the melee carry here. we are swapping the fighter back for potioning strats. Very, very important.
And once more, that black mage resumes their dirt-licking obsession.
But the Quad X comes out for Jay Scheidel for Team on 2 down.
Alright, here we go. It's a chaos
Alright.
boy.
You want to do the call on this?
Oh, the call? You mean where I do the thing of saying what happens?
Yes. Read quickly.
Alright, I'll try to read quickly. I also only have like 30% of the screen visible, so...
I mean, I can do that then. It's fine.
Nah, it's fine. I just moved chat over a little bit. Just move chat over here. It'll be fine. They'll never notice. Alright, so we're getting the temper up. Looks like they're gonna lean into the Vorpal on that fighter. So get that Ruse Stick going, and a temper. A temper. And nuke immediately. Oh boy. It's gonna be one of those. Well, you get one temper. And there's where all those Life 2 casts are gonna be very painful. We got Invis happening on Phoenix's side. Trying to counteract some of that. And, oh god, he has nuke and nuclear. Oh boy. It's twice in rotation. We have that Vorpal doing... Or actually, it was an Ice 3, because that Red Mage is not going to do much. Swing, swing, swing for 387. That's some decent numbers, but will it carry through? Will Jace make it? Because that was also a very powerful punch. 322. How much health does Chaos have? Like 10,000?
No, not that much. This is not the Pixel Remaster.
Oh.
We're at the 70 to 150 range, so 1,400 to
And
3,000.
that is the takeout, though.
That is a finish for Jay Scheidel and a forfeit for Phoenix, which I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to redive Topher when it was kind of a little sketch on the way up in the first place.
Yeah. And that's a racetime.gg time of 1:09:50 on that one. So I was a little off with fixing the timer. It's fine. But yeah, dude. And let's do the typical thing of everyone's favorite. Swapping
They're
over to the
already in
waiting
the waiting room, so I'm yoinking.
All right, you do the yoinky sploinky, and I'll say hi.
Hello,
Yeah.
young people. GG's.
Took us out mid-sentence. Hi.
So, how was the journey of discovery tonight?
Oh, so rough.
Double nuke chaos.
Nuclear nuke. Thank you very much.
Triple nuke chaos.
Super fun.
So much fun.
Yep.
Is there a nuke pun you have prepared for the occasion, Phoenix, while you're on live with all of the viewers?
No, there is only pain.
Way pain, I agree.
That's a rarity right there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you guys didn't hear the sigh coming from all the way where you are.
There it is. There's
Yeah.
just a delay.
Yeah,
It turns out you are on the 10-minute delay, not just your stream.
Yeah.
yeah. Or it was just that long. Him and a long sigh.
Initiating grieving protocols. No. Oh, that's...
So, I know that in the race room, there was a call out before the race started about the monster in a box and how those chests were worthless. Was that something that was just not seen necessarily? Was that something that wasn't internalized? Were you looking for the encounters? I say this to both of you. Because I know that there were, on both sides of the aisle here, we saw some of those monster in a boxes opened up. And painful snake ladies for Jay Scheidel.
Ugh, shush. Twice, I think.
Sure was.
It was
Yeah.
one of the races of all time.
It certainly was.
Early,
It's a
it
little-
was gold. Mid, I was looking for armor.
Armor? What's that?
Yeah. I didn't find anything till mid to late game for armor.
I had ribbons, and that was all I had pretty much.
That's all you need in life.
I had 2 ribbons, but forgot to equip the second one until Chaos.
I reset out of one of them.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was gonna say, to
Like,
see you both
hey-
fighting Chaos same time, though, was like, oh, I'm just sitting on the edge of it, and I'm like, oh god, which one do I commentate?
Oh, I wish I would have remembered life was on in battle until afterwards, because I'm like, oh, I have this red mage, and I could have picked someone up, but no.
I totally didn't even see it. Part and parcel of getting the flags 10 minutes before the race, trying to catch as much as you
Yeah.
can, and you miss some things.
Did you catch the thief vanilla agility?
Yes, and I thought about not taking him, but I had to.
I did not.
I was so mad at you.
I
This
think this
is-
was just straight up a black belt seed.
We're just reliving 2021, it's fine.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes we pull out the time machine and that results in some interesting flag decision.
I was curious if they'd be updated or if we would use the previous version.
So what I will say is that I have actually been workshopping this flag set for a few months. And I had it in as a Duck Weekly several months ago.
Nice.
And it's been up with one change only for the Derby since like before we started boot camp. Like as soon as I put up the boot camp channel, or rather dark boot, I put up the flags for the Derby, and there's only one change, and it's that the monster in a boxes guard rare treasures in the Derby instead of garbage. But it's
nothing.
information either way.
It is information
Yeah.
either way. Man, it's gonna be so
I
nice to
took
fight them
that
and get
bait
good
way too
things.
much.
What was that, Jay Shy?
I said I took that bait way too much for those monsters in the boxes.
Yeah, I realized about halfway through that they weren't guarding anything, but I was
knew-
scared at Sea Shrine because I saw that it didn't have can't be key items. I'm like, because I skipped one at that point. I'm like, it's gonna
Yeah.
be that box. It's totally gonna be that box.
I knew they were supposed to have nothing, but part of you in the back just goes, but what if? But what if that's your ice sword that you need, or your, would a gold bracelet be one of those? It's not a rare item, is it?
So, key items and rare treasures were both set to never in the trap
Right.
chat section.
But
So,
would
yeah.
would a gold bracelet be a rare item?
Yes.
It is? Okay. I thought since you could buy it at a store, it wouldn't be.
I mean,
No, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty weak for rare items.
Okay.
It's true.
I need to go learn what those are then.
I was
At
gonna
least
say,
I think that the golds count as a rare item.
Because I was thinking, like I said, the gold bracelet, maybe like an ice or a fire sword or something. Those medium tier stuff that's like, this is good enough for in game, especially with the scaling here, but it's not an Excal, it's not the Mazda, it's not an Opal.
Yeah, generally I think of the common treasure pool as gold, potions, and like things you could buy by elf.
Cool.
So, real quick rundown of the other finishers in the race. So we had 13 people in the race tonight. I love it. I love it when the Platy party's doing good.
yeah.
Our first place finisher tonight was Chanigan, who is auditing the course, so to speak. He's not eligible, but our actual first place eligible person was Oslodo. Chanigan was at 1 hour and 28 seconds. Oslodo at 101.56. Then we had Budgemano at 107.04. Guardian Marcus at 109.06. Caleb at 109.13. And then Jay Scheidel, 6th place with the 109.50.
So I've been here, like, commentating these Platy parties because, I'm helping. But, like, how does the scoring work for the Platy party in terms of, like, figuring out who the Platypus Supreme is?
So Platypus Prime is we have a scoring rubric posted to the wiki,
All right.
and I believe it may also be pinned in the Platy Party channel. But basically, Dark Moon keeps the score sheet up to date.
Mhm.
So
Dark Moon does math. Got it.
yeah, right now, first place overall looks to be Budgemano at 45 points,
Dang.
and Osloto in second place at 41. And then I think Caleb in third place overall with a 36.
Hey. High fives to Caleb. I like Caleb.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I like most of our runners. I wouldn't be, in the position I am in the community at this point if I didn't like most of the people here.
Details.
Yeah. So, looking at, as this being the weekly for the Duck Weekly this week, and being part of the Derby, let's get advice for ducks.
Yes.
We'll start with Jay Scheidel.
If you see a hint, go after it. I should have grabbed that stupid key a lot earlier. But no, real hints are learn your map. Like, take it up with a second monitor, print it off, put it on your phone. Do something to have a map so you know where you're going.
Staple it to your forehead so it's the only thing you can see.
Yeah, like, literally, just having an overworld map, or we talked about it on the VOD review with Luffy on Friday. Like, if you know C3 or whatever floor you don't know, put a map over. Like, nothing says you can't have a second monitor your phone out with the map on it. Do it.
So I can't use an auto tracker, but I can literally leave my phone open. I love it.
Phoenix, your advice for our ducks.
I'm a simple man, and I think the ducks should also be simple people. You see vanilla black belt, you take vanilla black belt.
Hey, it had have crit rate.
That's close enough,
Black belt
I
go
mean-
burr regardless.
right? Especially, you know what? I should have reset when I saw something an encounter one step off the hard reset.
Oh, yeah.
That should have just been an instant reset.
Knowing these were 21 flags, black belt, we should have done black belt.
Yep. You see
And
black
then-
belt, you take black belt.
Seeing nuke at level 2, I think resetting, going back with a black belt red none or something would have, yeah.
So, black
Yeah.
belt for 2021 race.
It was a very strong part of the meta back then.
Mhm.
Yes.
From an overall standpoint on these flags, anything that you would say is a cruel call out?
Dude.
Oh. There's any number of things that can be cruel callouts. The monsters in a box. Be careful of
Oh.
those. Know what's actually in them.
But he says he's changing it for the actual race. So they're going to be desired.
Yeah. So, know what's in them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you to our raiders from First C 624 TV.
Hey.
Catch it final interviews as we've just finished our race here. So Phoenix calling out the know what's in the boxes, and yes, it will be rare treasures in the Derby, but it is garbage in this week's flags. Very intentionally, use the negative space.
You see, with rare treasures, I'd almost say possibly, for me, would be take a fighter or something. Just because you're probably going to get a lot of decent weapons in that, versus this one where it's just like you see where the junk is, and
Mhm.
black belt feels better. I
Um,
think, but that's just me.
I'm going to hate saying it because I love my thief. But if how the thief is still going, it might just be best to go fight a rainbow. Like, don't take the lure of the thief. It doesn't have the bonuses that we're used to.
Yeah.
The allure
this is
of the
back when
steely
thieves
boy.
This is
Yeah.
back when thieves and white mage were universally the two worst classes in the game. Nobody
Well,
used them.
And
Except for
improved
Will
harm is
Bloodworth.
still on, right?
I think I did leave White Mage harm all.
So the white mage still has a bit of its bonuses. and improved fire lit was on and stuff. So yeah, the thief is the cruel one for me.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the things that's been really difficult to moderate in terms of flag design is how do you make the thief not just be amazing in everything? And
Yeah.
and the answer is you just turn off the agility. I mean, there's steps down, but you know, vanilla agility is. I thought it was funny.
It was kind of funny watching these thieves like, oh yeah, it's great, and then Carrie's like, no.
Yeah, it's funny, haha, not funny, haha.
Yeah,
It's funny. We'll talk after the stream. It's funny.
Yes.
Was that 64 damage or 64 damage? Oh, that's worse.
The double thief growth was still on, so like it's not vanilla, but that thief agility, when you get used to it being 80.
Yeah.
Yep, it is a big change when it goes down as far as as vanilla.
Also, one blurring was kind of a little bit of a gotcha there. We're so used to the 2-1 or the 2-none that the 1 was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it is a strange change up sometimes. And
Yeah.
part of that is that a lot of the design of those 2021 flags was around making things more difficult as it progressed. And so there were more malices and worse scaling weapons and all of that throughout the tournament day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's such a diverse thing of tournament stuff, and you know, my major practice was winter tournament where everything was the same, so I just kind of got to practice the same set of skills. Where the derby is going to be more of a like broad category of learning like the general basics, but here's all of the individual things with individual skills you need to have and learn.
Yeah, and speaking of this year's winter tournament, it was just a lot of we wanted you to have to kind of relearn the game to start with, not necessarily like get harder as you go. So different things. It's fun.
It was to my advantage, and I'm not complaining. That
All
said,
right, well,
we're getting a little late. What about final thoughts?
Phoenix, take it first.
Read the flags.
Read the flags. Get it tattooed on like the back of your controller hand, so just read the flags.
Always read the flags, especially for you ducks going into Duck Derby. Always know the flags. You'll have the advantage of having the derbies posted well ahead of time to practice, but know the flags. It'll make such a difference.
And then Jay Shy, our man from the OJ Power Hour.
If you see a hint, follow it. That key would have saved me a lot of time earlier. And petition to remove vanilla thief. Just no, it should be 80 vanilla.
I mean, if you are a fan of the mandatory thief, I guess.
I like me a good Steely boy.
It's mandatory in our hearts. You know it to be true.
As somebody who effectively eliminated themselves in Duck Derby when I was a duck because I tried to force Thief Red Black in a scene. Yeah. That was a very sad time.
If I would have gotten out of my I'm so used to taking one now because of the improved, like we said, we would have gone back to black belt and it would have been, I'm not going to say easy, but different.
Well, I don't know if you had caught this, but the spike tiles were A side and B side, like shuffled together. And that also has a pretty significant impact on what fights are worth taking.
Well, then we knew that there was an encounter on the first step. Like I stepped into the forest right side of Corneria and went, oh, okay, I'm resetting a lot.
Yep.
So that's also a black belt call.
True story.
My final thoughts, I think I've said well enough, is I definitely anticipate this to test the limits of my diverse skill set and hope to do well. I've missed a couple of classes from Vertigo, so if you're a fan of me, expect a lot of practice in the next couple of weeks.
This is kind of the time to start practicing as we are getting close to the Derby itself. A reminder, I posted this earlier, but if you are planning to be in the Derby, you do need to submit your registration for that before end of day Saturday.
And make
And,
sure you get your times right, like a
yes.
responsible runner, and not someone who. Yes.
We can do corrections, but we have to try to spreadsheet together how we're going to get 2 Derby slots that cover as many runners as possible.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be cognizant of the fact that we have at least one runner that's on EU time, and there's a lot going on there. So make sure that you fill that out if you're planning to race in the Derby. Coming up this week, we've got our community race tomorrow night on these flags. We've got this is the week off, right, Jay? For
No,
OJ
it's next
Morrow?
week.
Next week is off?
Correct. This is our week on. Next week is off.
Okay. What's your plug for this week?
We have on our Oslato the winner tonight apparently, and I have a podcast on Tuesday nights at 9:00 Eastern. This week will be Ale and Shanigan. We'll be talking about Lefanian Ladder.
Ooh, Lefanian Ladder is cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing that really pick up. I saw Ale posted the flags, and Ale doesn't pull punches.
Yeah.
Ale is ale.
It's going to be a really interesting after having you and Luffy on the other day talking about the ducklings, and then Shumbabi last week talking about challenge. Just kind of see how everyone fits in with their different flag crafting styles.
Flag crafting is a very interesting art, and seeing how it changes between each person is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and seeing that the random doesn't have to be played one way for everyone.
I was gonna say, hopefully I never have to do flag sets for things, because I just pick a crazy theme and go with it.
Hey, that's totally valid. Totally valid.
I don't know. I've heard that that this month's async for Archipelago's Death and Taxes is either very terrible or going to be terrible.
I mean, anything can be terrible.
Anything
we
can
know
be
this
terrible.
to be true. Wednesday night, that will be our next boot camp stream. I'm going to be the featured runner. Hooray!
Yay!
Because it is, with the Wednesdays, we try to stretch the boundary a little bit, push a little harder, and do something a little strange. Well, I'm the big advocate for Spellcrafter. At least I like to think so. So we're covering Spellcrafter on Wednesday night.
I got to try Spellcrafter last month for the AP, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that one.
And I've been practicing. I will say I did not realize I was a little bit everything besides Spellcrafter was a little bit beginner-ish. Like I didn't change a whole lot else in the flag set, and I only realized that today. It was kind of strange, but it's still a lot of fun. I think it's a good learning opportunity because Spellcrafter is weird.
Gotta give him that neck 8.
Anything 8 turns out to be kind of fun. I had a practice seed with Rock 8, and that just does a lot of damage to a single target.
Rock.
It's lovely getting those spells with the 900 top end. Thursday, community race. Friday, most likely VOD reviews. I don't know. I'm very detached from those, but those have been very, I think, helpful to anybody who's submitted to it, as well as anybody just watching. It's good to see that kind of feedback, even if it's not your own VOD, because the lessons tend to be very helpful, right? Like you can clarify your thinking by watching somebody else's VOD review.
Very true.
I know
And
there's
then-
a crew ready for it, so if anyone's interested, just go to the VOD review channel and say something, because there's definitely a crew who will do it.
Yeah.
And that is fantastic, let me tell you. I honestly am a huge fan of the fact that, again, everybody's been really jumping in and taking part as part of the community to put this boot camp out there and make it as good as it can be.
I've been
The
trying.
VOD reviews have been a very interesting and helpful part of that. So take advantage. Toss a VOD in there. Get some feedback. It's great. And then Saturday we're off. Sunday we will have race 3 of the Platy Party / the final week of boot camp.
Eee.
That's going to be a little bit familiar because that's just winter tournament.
I'll have so much more to say while I'm here restreaming and commentating on it.
So that kind of covers all of the what's coming up soon. But if you're not yet part of the Randomizer community, head on over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Bottom of the page, there's the Join the Discord link. And yeah, come hang out with us. We're friendly people because the game frequently is not. You saw tonight. Following our derby here, coming up in June, we're going to have our summer marathon yet again. So definitely come check that out as well. The summer marathon benefiting the Liam Foundation, who's been our partner for 2 years now. I want to say that this is our 5th marathon coming up.
Sounds right.
I think it's our
Yeah.
3rd, actually. Because
Well, our
it was a repeat
3rd
when
will
I
be
the
first joined, and I think this will be the 3rd.
It's our 3rd with Leah.
Yeah.
At least. But we have the winter marathon as well, so I kind of count them together. You know, we just do 2 marathons each.
So many.
But yeah, we are going to be fundraising for the Liam Foundation in June, like the 2nd weekend-ish. I can find a calendar with dates, I promise.
He promises people.
Where
The summer marathon is the 14th through the 16th of June. So yeah, come hang out, check that out. That's a good time. That is literally like 2 weeks after our finals. But with that, probably time to send you all home. It's been fabulous having you here.
It has been, and it's been an honor to assist as I can.
Appreciate you, Maddie. And GG's to all of our runners, Phoenix and Jay Scheidel, both on the restream tonight. But to the whole crew of 13 who showed up for the race tonight for the Platy Party, GG's, everybody. And with that, have a good night.